Ladies and gentlemen, what are the odds that I'd be talking about two Virginia stories in a row? So, Virginia, y'all gonna have to take an L just for that alone. That's wild that we have that much news coming out of this state with something so tragic. But this actually happened a little while ago, but we're gonna give you guys a very, very big update in this story. So if you've seen this before on any other YouTuber's channel, that those who talk about these type of stories, then this is going to be a update. So before we get there, I have to give you a disclaimer because some of y'all know I'm really opinionated, but the following content, you might find it controversial or offensive. The information is coming from any credible sources, which you can actually go and look them up. My video commentary is going to have opinions about the facts of this story. The point is hopefully to encourage these things to happen at a less occurrence. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. Virginia, a Virginia woman, they didn't even refer to her as a mother, and I'm getting this from people.com. So people.com, thank you for the article. A Virginia woman was sentenced on Monday to 55 years in prison for murdering her 2-year-old son. That smiling baby boy that you see right there on the screen. Let me see if I can get a more clear photo of him. I like that one actually, but I don't want the mom on the screen. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to skip right past her grumpy, frumpy looking face. But look at this baby. I don't understand for the life of my body how you can look at a face like this, especially a face that you created, and hate this face and do evil things to a face like that. Why would you want to hurt this child? Why would you want to hurt this baby? I'm going to give you guys the details, but that still baffles me to this day. How you could just be that hateful that you physically inflict violence on a child to the point of death. It's just zero excuses for that. And I think all of those type of incidents need to have come with a life sentence. A life sentence. She was sentenced to 55 years in prison. It's still not enough time. Her name is Julia Leanna Tomlin, Tomlin, 37 years old, and she pled guilty last December to second-degree murder, concealing a dead body, and felony child abuse in the 2019 death of that baby boy, 2-year-old Noah Tomlin. And he seems like a quiet baby. He seems like an innocent baby. It just makes me want to just reach through the screen and ask his mom, like, why would she do something like this? There's just no excuse for it. I don't want to hear nobody talk about, oh, well, she was suffering from mental illness, y'all. She was suffering. I don't care what she was suffering from. I don't care if she was suffering from Parkinson's disease. It is no excuse to hurt children. And anybody who would hurt a child, hurt a baby that can't speak for itself nor defend itself against the tyranny of its caretakers, I don't think they need to be in our society anymore. I don't think they need to be breathing air anymore. I don't think they need to be in our atmosphere anymore, if you ask me. Is that a fair thing to say? Is that too mean? Do people got thin skin? They get mad about what I just said? I think that's a fair thing to say. I don't care what your mental illness is. I don't care what you're suffering from. There is no excuse for hurting our innocent babies. That needs to be treated and charged to the fullest extent of the law. Can we get a hashtag no excuses? I like that. Thank you. No excuses. The boy's remains, brace yourselves, were discovered at a steam plant, STEAM, a steam plant in Hampton, Virginia, Commonwealth's attorney Anton A. Bell tells People. A medical examiner concluded that the boy died from blunt force head trauma and battered child syndrome. He was beat to death. The child, according to Bell, was beaten profusely. The child's body couldn't take it anymore. Death was a welcome friend to Noah because his body could not take it anymore. The abuse was just so profound. At Tomlin's sentencing, her 19-year-old daughter asked for the maximum sentence. Let me read that again. Her 19-year-old daughter asked for the maximum sentence. I can appreciate that standpoint, that even your own child recognizes that there can be no excuse. Hashtag no excuse. Y'all see him typing it in the chat. No excuse. My mother, Julia Tomlin, has never been fit to be a parent. Wow. Woo. Epic burn. Wow. Her own daughter said, my mother, Julia Tomlin, has never been fit to be a parent. She has only cared for herself and has never prioritized the needs for any of her children, even when she had claimed to be doing so. All of her children have been removed from her care and should never have been returned to her care. Hashtag babies for benefits. She didn't have these children because she loved them. She had these children to collect benefits off of these children, hence the 19-year-old and hence the 2-year-old. 17 years at least, or at the most I should say, 17 years difference between the age of the youngest and the oldest. That proves my theory that she knew that she was about to, depending on the age of the other children. I don't know if they're about the same age, older, younger, I don't know. But it seems like she kept having children, not because she loved them, because she wanted to continue to keep getting benefits or to continue to fund something. But she didn't do it because she loved these kids. That I can tell you. Even her own daughter is saying that. So don't get mad at me. Don't argue my words. Why don't y'all go argue with her grown adult 19-year-old legally grown daughter? How about that? Go argue with her if you don't like what I just said. I get so tired of people emailing me and trying to defend these people. What you said about them was disparaging. I don't give a damn. She killed a baby, a child. Why should I care about how I describe her badass parenting? I'm lost with that. I'm still lost to this day how people can have the audacity to email me and try to defend somebody who is currently in jail or currently being sentenced, currently going through the court, or currently doing a sentence for the death of a child. Defend them for what? Make an excuse for them for what? Hashtag no excuses. Hashtag babies for benefits. That's her. Let's keep going. Her own daughter said it. Don't get mad at me. She told the court that her late brother Noah received the worst from her. I'm assuming the worst treatment is what she was saying. In the 2 short years that he lived, he had witnessed pure hate and cruelty from the woman who was supposed to love and protect him. The boy was reported missing, and I forgot to tell y'all this part. The mom tried to say, and y'all remember how we got all of these missing kids? Can y'all name some of the missing kids that are still missing in the United States right now that were pretty big stories? Somebody has said, one of the little girls in the chat earlier, y'all shout their names out. Take every opportunity to shout these missing babies' names out. If y'all have missing children out there, or you know of some, y'all remember the missing California City boys? I forget their names. Goodness, they had some very unique. Oren and Orson West. Y'all remember them? What other missing children are out there? Y'all type them in the chat. If y'all can remember them, shout them out. Summer Wells is one of them. Thank you. That's the one I was trying to remember. Still don't know where she's at. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up, and especially with the Summer Wells story. Go back and look at my channel and see what I said about that story. Well, I personally said, Cody Bixby, thank you. What I said was, it's funny how we want to go scouring the earth looking for this child. In my opinion, the person that you need to look at is the caretaker and the last people that were near by that child. I always say you look at the home. You investigate the home. You take a fine-tooth comb to the home first. Classic and sincere, thank you. Investigate the hell out of them. Where is Harmony Montgomery? Thank you. Type them in there. Type them all in there. If y'all got a hashtag, Michael Monkey Vine, thank you. If you got a hashtag, type them in there. Those babies deserve to hear their voices heard. And I just don't think I'm wrong, and I think this story proves it. Let me give you details and tell you why when this mother reported that her child was quote-unquote missing. Listen at this. The boy was reported missing from the mother, Tomlin's Bayside Village mobile home park trailer. Look, man, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do no snowbilly jokes today. I'm not going to do no thug Billy jokes today. I'm not going to do no hood Billy jokes today. But why in the F word are you having multiple kids, kid after kid after kid? The kids don't have a say-so. The kids don't. Thank you, Oakley Carlson. Type them in there. There you go. Thank y'all. Let's get involved. Come on, share it. Speak those babies' names. Say it loud. It's not the children's fault that they are in the trailer park. It is the mother's fault for choosing to bring those children there. It is the biological father's fault for seeing that this woman had kids, knowing that she shouldn't have had kids, and you slept with her anyway? No, ma'am. No, sir. I'm sorry, man, but look, I gotta be evil for a moment, if y'all don't mind. I gotta be evil just for a moment. This woman looks like she smells bad, man. Trailer park. I can almost guarantee you that this woman probably smells like a bucket of piss on a regular basis. She just looks dusted and disgusted, and somebody just kept plugging her and plugging and plugging and plugging. Jesus. She reported her son missing from the trailer park June 24th of 2019. Trailer park. Tomlin, like I almost want to say trailer park after everything that I say. Tomlin, trailer park Tomlin, that's what I'm going to call her. Trailer Park Tomlin allegedly claimed to police that she put her 3 young children to bed the night before, and when she woke up the following morning, Noah was gone. How many times have we heard that? Come on, AFC. How many times have we heard that BS sticks to high-held excuse? She claimed that Noah, who has autism, was abducted, but then later said that the boy hit his head and drowned in the bathtub. Oh, gosh. Another bathtub. Can y'all say it in the chat? Another bathtub story. We say that for those who might not have ever watched my channel before. We say that because that's how often we find out that these children are dead in bathtubs or killed themselves. All the time. She said he hit his head and drowned in a bathtub, so he killed himself, apparently, after she left him unattended. She said she had taken heroin. How do you have money for heroin? I thought heroin was an expensive drug. But you're living in a trailer park, but you can afford heroin? I don't know how much it costs. I thought it was expensive. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Bell said the Trailer Park Tomlin called a friend and asked to bring over cleaning supplies and to dispose of the boy's body. Trailer Park Tomlin will later confess that later that night, which was early in the morning of June 23rd, she wrapped Noah's deceased body, put the body in a diaper bag, triple bagged the box with 3 trash bags, all 3 of y'all, gave it to her friend to dispose, says Bell. Tomlin was adamant that her friend was unaware of the contents of the package. And I'm not so sure how true that is, because maybe she's just trying to bail her friend out because her friend had helped bail her out of this situation, trying to cover it up. But I'm not so sure that they didn't know. I don't know. So maybe I better not be so accusatory of that, but I like to get everybody that's involved in this. I need to... Oh, I can't do that, can I? There we go. Got to send something off real quick. So, she tried to say that she was adamant that her friend didn't know what was going on. The friend dumped the boy's body at a dumpster across town. I think that should get you. I think that should get you at least 2 years in prison. Dumped the boy's body at a dumpster across town. Noah's remains were found days after searching. Police later discovered the boy's blood on a bed wall and a bed sheet found in the trash, according to Bell. Bell said that baby Noah's injuries were consistent with child abuse. Noah's skull, I want y'all to brace yourselves, Noah's skull had a hole in it, and it was found to be consistent with a striking instrument. The medical examiner stated the injuries were consistent with the force of someone being dropped from a multiple-story building in order to crack his head like that. Noah also had several prior injuries that were significant and severe, says Bell, including a fractured jawbone and a fractured rib cage and signs of shaken baby syndrome. Look at the baby. This is a tiny baby. Since the moment this baby was born, all he knew was violence. Isn't that something? That is a horrible existence. The medical examiner, according to Bell, said Noah's growth had been stunted. It was evident from the autopsy that he had stopped eating at some point and that it would have been consistent when a child who was in severe pain, and as a result of severe pain, it would have been too painful for him to even eat. Trailer Park Tomlin's attorney, I like saying that, Trailer Park Tomlin's attorney, Tyrone Johnson, could not be reached for comment. That sounds like a good lawyer's name for somebody coming out of a trailer park. Yeah, my lawyer's name is Tyrone Johnson. At the sentencing, Tyrone Johnson told the judge that Trailer Park Tomlin had suffered from years of mental and physical abuse by her parents and a boyfriend she had met as a teen. Isn't that the Casey Anthony story? If y'all can correct me, am I right or am I wrong about that? I know Tommy talks about that a lot. I think that's Casey Anthony. Let me know if I'm right or wrong about that. But they say if you suspect child abuse, call the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline, 800-4CHILD or 800-422-4453 or childhelp.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential, and the hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in more than 170 languages. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair use. It's bullcrap. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And that was a strong baby, guys. I want y'all to know that. That baby Noah was a very strong baby. If an adult would have suffered that type of abuse, an adult would have died, and probably died a long time ago. Make sure y'all share the memory of this baby. Simple thing to do. Close that chat. Hit that thumbs up. Share this video so that way more people can get access to it. YouTube will recommend it higher. Let's get these babies' voices heard. Let's get it.
A Hampton mother accused of murdering her 2-year-old son will learn her fate. Last year, Julia Tomlin pleaded guilty to killing her son Noah back in 2019.
Well, now she's due in court for her sentence hearing. Casey Baylor joins us live. And Casey, what's expected during today's hearing?
Well, Bethany, Julia Tomlin faces up to 55 years in prison. Now, the Hampton Commonwealth's attorney, Anton Bell, says he plans to ask the judge for the maximum sentence. The second-degree murder charge carries 5 to 40 years in prison, but the judge can add up to 15 more years for concealing a dead body and felony child neglect. Now, Tomlin has already spent the last 3 years in jail. Hampton police arrested her not long after she reported her son Noah missing. Police later found his body at the Hampton steam plant. Now, though the family will soon learn Tomlin's fate, Noah's grandfather says for him, justice is bringing back his grandson.
Justice, he can never come back. Justice would be if he was alive, but since that can't happen, I guess this is the best we got.
And Tomlin pleaded guilty to killing her son back in December of last year. The defense attorneys plan to present an argument before the judge makes a decision on her fate. Again, that hearing is set for today at 2. We're live this morning. I'm Casey Baylor for 13 News Now.
We're staying on top of breaking news. Julia Tomlin, the Hampton mother who admitted to killing her 2-year-old son, will serve 55 years behind bars. The judge sentenced her today. She reported her son Noah missing in 2019.
Almost 2 weeks later, investigators found his body at the Hampton steam plant. Allison Basil attended the sentencing today and describes the emotion inside the courtroom.
Julia Tomlin wiped away tears as a judge gave her the maximum penalty for killing her son Noah Tomlin. She will spend 55 years in prison with no time suspended.
You're supposed to be the protector as a parent, not the predator.
Today, a judge sentenced Julia Tomlin to 40 years for second-degree murder, 10 years for felony child neglect, and 5 years for concealing a body. Tomlin reported her 2-year-old son Noah missing during the summer of 2019. Almost 2 weeks later, investigators found the toddler's body at the Hampton steam plant. Inside the courtroom, the medical examiner who performed Noah's autopsy told a judge the toddler had severe skull fractures.
Medical examiner said that they were comparable to someone falling multiple stories from a building.
The medical examiner says Noah also had healed jaw and rib fractures. Tomlin's daughter also took the stand. She told the judge her mother put her and her siblings in dangerous situations countless times. She says Noah was an innocent soul taken too soon and asked the judge to give her mother the maximum penalty. Tomlin's attorney told the judge Tomlin had a rough upbringing. Bell told the judge the life she lives is, quote, nothing compared to the nightmare Noah lived.
You don't torture someone and then say, oh, I'm remorseful that I torture you. No, you're remorseful that you got caught.
In Hampton, Allison Basil, 13 News Now.
Also tonight, 55 years in prison ahead for the woman accused of killing her 2-year-old son.
A Hampton mother will spend 55 years behind bars for the death of her 2-year-old son. Julia Tomlin pleaded guilty to the murder of Noah Tomlin. Police found the boy's body at the Hampton steam plant back in 2019. 10 on your side's Amy Avery was in court today when Tomlin learned her sentence and joins us now live outside the courthouse.
Hey, Regina, we just got out of the courtroom about a half hour ago where Julia Tomlin sat in the courtroom and shed tears as she learned that she was given the maximum sentence today for the death of her 2-year-old son, Noah. She was given 40 years for second-degree murder, 5 for concealment, and 10 for abuse and neglect. Now, prosecutors say this is a case that gripped the community because of the way Noah was found. His body was put in a Pampers box inside a trash bag, then dumped at the Hampton steam plant. The medical examiner testified saying this is a case she remembers all too well, even though she examined Noah's body in the summer of 2019. She says Noah suffered a severe skull fracture that's consistent of falling multiple stories or being grabbed by the legs and being swung against a wall. She said these are injuries not sustained with normal childhood trauma. She also said the body had prior trauma. She said Noah suffered a jaw fracture and several broken ribs, but she does not believe that is from the time of his death. She believes that's from a prior incident. Commonwealth's attorney Anton Bell says death was a welcome friend for Noah because of the torture he endured in his short life.
But absolutely, it's heart-wrenching that he had to die, and it's heart-wrenching that he had to suffer the way he did. But at the end of the day, death was a welcome friend because this kid had went through the worst of the worst.
Now, Tomlin's attorney did not wish to comment to the media, and Tomlin also did not make a statement in front of the court today. Her daughter, though, her 19-year-old daughter, testified about what Tomlin was like as a mother before her grandparents took custody at the age of 6. We'll have more on her testimony coming up tonight.
2 days after the medical examiner confirmed police found Noah Tomlin's body, we're hearing from the young boy's family. 3 weeks ago, the toddler disappeared. Tonight, his older sister and grandparents tell us about the heartbreak no family wants to go through.
13 News Now reporter Nico Clemens was first to sit down with Tomlin's family.
Noah's already in a better place.
Tonight, Noah Tomlin's family has many unanswered questions.
An innocent life taken too soon. I mean, it's still hard to wrap my head around, but...
I sat down with Noah's grandparents on his father's side and his oldest sister. They're still trying to come to grips with the toddler's death.
It's been very hard.
Unfortunately, their time spent with 2-year-old Noah was incredibly short because of family conflict. They only met him once, just a few days before his mother, Julia, reported him missing.
It was good to get to know him. He was very sweet.
Vincent Jones says it seemed Julia was back on track. Family planned to go see Noah again.
I was shocked, but the more we were looking at it, the more I knew she was involved in it somehow.
Vincent and Cindy Jones have custody of 3 of Julia's 10 kids, including Leanna, who's not only dealing with her brother's death, but...
Wow. Whoa. How many kids? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Can we get a hashtag babies for benefits? Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9. 10 kids. That should be illegal to have 10 children that you can't afford to take care of. How big are they making these trailers? I know they got some double wides. Do they got some... How do you multiply that by 10? What, they got some quadruple wides? Some octuple wides? Jesus. 10? Let me know that y'all heard me. I don't like repeating myself. Please let me know that y'all heard that they said this woman got 10 effing kids.
But the more we were looking at it, the more I knew she was involved in it somehow.
Vincent and Cindy Jones have custody of 3 of Julia's 10 kids, including Leanna and his oldest sister. Tonight, Noah Tomlin's family has many unanswered questions.
An innocent life taken too soon. I mean, it's still hard to wrap my head around, but...
I sat down with Noah's grandparents on his father's side and his oldest sister. They're still trying to come to grips with the toddler's death.
It's been very hard.
Unfortunately, their time spent with 2-year-old Noah was incredibly short because of family conflict.
Another thing that we need to talk about, why you shouldn't have a ton of kids. And I know some of y'all might think I'm crazy. Like, y'all say kids are a blessing from God. Y'all got to watch my video about that. I thought it was pretty poignant what I said. I said that children are not a blessing. Children are not a blessing. Children are a choice that consenting adults make together to create children. They're not a blessing. They are a choice that we make. And we turn around as society and try to blame these decisions on God or something. That should be a crime to have that many children. Especially when you're in the trailer park, because most people, not all, don't take no offense, but most people in the trailer park, just like most people in the hood, are in those positions because they aren't financially able to stay anywhere else. They're there because that's the choice. That's all they had. And I get it. I'm not trying to say negative things about innocent people, but what I am saying is that it is a financially cumbersome situation. I hope that's the right word. 10 kids. She should have been stopped after 2. You couldn't take care of 1.
They only met him once, just a few days before his mother, Julia, reported.
Y'all know what we call that, right? Hashtag TTO. Y'all want to tell them what TTO stands in the chat? Because see, some people are watching for the first time. They've never heard me say that. Hashtag TTO. What does that stand for? Can somebody tell them in the chat? Because that's what she needs.
Him missing.
It was good.
Long time ago.
to get to know him. He was very sweet.
Vincent Jones says it seemed Julia was back on track. The family planned to go see Noah again.
I was shocked, but the more we were looking at it, the more I knew she was involved in it somehow.
Vincent and Cindy Jones have custody of 3 of Julia's 10 kids, including Leanna, who's not only dealing with her brother's death, but her mom behind bars.
Just think about like the positive parts about the situation, like Noah's no longer suffering.
Tonight, the family is asking for better child welfare laws, so this won't happen again.
The system did fail Noah.
The system did fail Noah.
In the meantime, the family is focused on healing and remembering young Noah.
I wish I could have known him the way that I know my other grandchildren. But we will know each other sometime, someday.
I'm sorry, man. Somebody had to have known. And I can't blame the 17-year-old underage person, even though a phone call might not have hurt. But I'm not going to hold that responsibility on a legal child. That I'm not going to do. I'm an advocate for children. I'm not going to go against kids if they're living under the roof of their parents. That's not what I do. No, sorry, Bob. That's not my job. But I think that people knew that this abuse was going on because this child was only less than 24 months old. They had to have seen the abuse if they've ever laid eyes on him. For as much abuse as he endured, don't y'all think that he would have had scratches, he would have had marks, he would have had bruising? They would have seen this. For those to be grandparents, and grandparents, I'm sorry that I'm going to indict y'all on this, but I have to because I got to be real. If you are around your grandchild and your grandchild had all of that type of abuse, he had been enduring that abuse his entire life. You would have had to have seen some marks, something, some indicators. You pick him up, he cries, he hurts. Like that's something that parents inherently know, especially grandparents, because we've been there and done that. But like I said, that part of it is speculation on my part. But nonetheless, 55 years is not going to make a difference. Life in prison really should have been the ultimate judgment. But baby Noah, that's a shame to have all of those kids. All of those kids were put in the worst position possible. But especially the youngest and the smallest, the most innocent, young Noah, young Prince. R.I.P. We got to have more advocates out there. If you see something, say something. If you know some abuse is going on, report it. You can report the stuff anonymously, but don't let a day go by. If you think something's wrong, I'd rather you say something and be wrong than to not say something and a child end up dead. That's one to grow on right there, okay? Thank you so much. Share the story. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think.